Module Overview. Composition is the silent conductor of the visual orchestra, organizing elements in a manner that dictates focus, movement, emotion, and meaning. In still life and realism art, effective composition is more than simply placing objects together. It's about curating a visual journey through thoughtful spatial design, proportion, focal hierarchy, and aesthetic balance. This module explores the deep philosophy, science, and psychology behind composition. You will analyze classical compositional techniques, understand the geometry and grid systems used by old masters, and practice visual storytelling through arrangement while incorporating realistic spatial logic and perspective to enhance believability and depth. 1. The philosophy of composition in still life. Purpose of composition. Guides the viewer's eye, emphasizes a central message or emotion, provides visual balance and tension, establishes rhythm and narrative. Core compositional principles: unity and variety, consistency of theme with subtle surprises, emphasis and subordination, clear focal point with supporting elements, balance, symmetry, asymmetry, and radial arrangements, movement, directional flow using shapes, lines, or repetition, proportion and scale, relational sizing of objects to evoke realism or exaggeration. 2. Spatial arrangement and perspective. Perspective essentials. 1-point perspective. All lines converge to one vanishing point. 2-point perspective. 2 vanishing points for angled objects. 3-point perspective. Adds vertical perspective for towering views. Foreshortening. Optical compression of forms projecting toward the viewer. Overlap and depth cues. Overlapping objects create the illusion of space. Diminishing size. Mimics natural distance. Atmospheric perspective. Distant objects become lighter and desaturated. 3. Classical and contemporary layout systems. Compositional frameworks. Rule of thirds. Divide the space into 3x3 grid. Place key elements at intersections, golden ratio/Fibonacci spiral. Naturally pleasing proportions found in nature and classical art. Triangle composition. Elements form a pyramid structure for stability. S-curve and L-shape for dynamic or grounded arrangements. Old master techniques. Vermeer's use of symmetry and light. Anchoring. Chardin's triangular object placement. Cézanne's tilted tables for enhanced rhythm. 4. Visual hierarchy and focal strategy. Establishing a focal point. Size dominance. Contrast in value or color positioning. Central or intersecting lines. Texture or detail variation. Managing supporting elements. Lead the eye using line, contour, or directional object placement. Echo shapes or textures to reinforce flow. 5. Negative space and object breathing room. Often overlooked, negative space defines and elevates positive forms. Avoid clutter by giving objects visual, breathing space. Use space to balance heavy masses or dense textures. Shape of negative space should be considered part of composition. 6. Light and composition interplay. Lighting affects compositional strategy. Side lighting for depth and texture. Backlighting for silhouette composition. Top lighting for drama or focus. Light direction influences. Shadow projection. Adding rhythm or weight. Focus areas. Brightest spot draws the eye first. 7. Arranging objects for realism and narrative. Arrangement strategies. Thematic grouping. Kitchen utensils, fruit, antiques. Narrative clustering, suggesting a story. Breakfast scene, abandoned tools. Temporal or seasonal storytelling. Spring bouquet, autumn harvest. Consider object material and how it interacts with light. Cultural or symbolic connotations of each object. Textural contrast to prevent visual monotony. 8. Experimental composition approaches. Advanced artists may break compositional rules for expressive impact. Intentional imbalance to convey chaos or tension. Flattened space for stylized effect. Collage-style juxtaposition to create abstract realism hybrids.